what is the fate of sincere devotees who have not been initiated by a bona fide guru in parampara? Are they still linked up with parampara? Can they still attain prema bhakti and reach Goloka Vrindavan?
No. Can go to 5908.
So the short answer is no. And for a more detailed answer, we are in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 15, text 108.
Unless one is initiated by bona fide spiritual master, all his devotional activities are useless. A person who is not properly initiated can descend again into the animal species.
If a person is sincere, definitely Krishna will help him to have a guru. Yes? He
Yeah.
cannot be sincere and not be initiated. How is it possible? The moment Krishna detects a soul is very sincere about spiritual growth, then Krishna will make arrangement to get a spiritual master for him. Just like Durva Maharaj, he was going to find Krishna, and Krishna sent Narada Muni to him. Yes?
Hmm.
Is it not?
Yes, sir.
So it's not very, I would say, correlated, someone who's sincere and does not have a guru. Doesn't make sense. Because Krishna is sitting in the heart.
Yeah.
You understand? One of the important principles of spiritual life is explained in 22.115. You want to translate this first, please, before we go on? No, the previous one. Say in Tagalog. Yeah, this one.
Maliban na lang kung ang isang tao na nabigyan ng inisasyon ng isang bona fide na pinunong spiritual, ang lahat ng kanyang gawaing devosyonal ay walang bisa. Ang isang tao na hindi nabigyan ng inisasyon ng wasto ay muling bababa sa uri ng hayop.
You can read the other verses, all says that you must have a guru. Can you go up? Okay, it's the duty of every human being to stand to a bona fide spiritual master, giving him everything, body, mind, and intelligence. He must take Vaishnava initiation from him. Can you translate that?
Ito ay tungkulin ng bawat tao ang sumuko sa isang bona fide na pinunong espiritual. Bibigyan siya nito ng lahat, ang katawan, isip at katalinuhan. Ang isang tao ay kailangang magkaroon ng inisasyong Vaishnava mula sa kanya.
So you see again, it says that you have to. You cannot say it's optional. It is a must. Yes?
Yes.
In this whole verse, it's all about you must take initiation from Guru. Without Guru, Tadvijnanartham Saguru Eva Bigachat. Again, Manduka Upanishad, See here, Sagurum Eva Bigachat. The word Eva Bigachat means, again, must, It's not optional. Can translate?
Para maunawaan ang mga bagay na ito ng wasto, ang isang tao ay kailangang mababang loob na dumulog ang sa isang pinunong espiritual na siyang may alam sa Vedas at kailangang maging devoted siya sa absolute truth.
So if you read this chapter, it says that without initiation, the chanting, it can go down to this verse. Okay, here you can see here.
O best of the Brahmanas, even without initiation, preliminary purification, or acceptance of the renounced order, one can attain perfection in devotional service simply by chanting the Lord's holy name. In other words, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is so powerful that it does not depend on official initiation. But if one is initiated and engages in Pancharatra Vidhi, deity worship, his Krishna consciousness will awaken very soon and his identification with the material world will be vanquished. The more one is freed from material identification, the more one can realize that the spirit soul is qualitatively as good as the supreme soul. At such a time, when one is situated on the absolute platform, one can understand that the holy name of the Lord and the Lord himself are identical. At that stage of realization, the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna mantra, cannot be identified with any material sound. If one accepts the Hare Krishna Mahamantra as a material vibration, he falls down. One should worship and chant the holy name of the Lord by accepting it as the Lord himself. One should therefore be initiated properly according to revealed scriptures under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master. Although chanting the holy name is good for both the conditioned and liberated soul, it is especially beneficial to the conditioned soul because by chanting it, one is liberated. When a person who chants the holy name is liberated, he attains the ultimate perfection by returning home back to Godhood. In the words of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila, chapter 7, text 73, Krishna mantra haite habe samsar mochan, Krishna nama haite pabe Krishner charan. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, one can obtain freedom from material existence. Indeed, simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one will be able to see the lotus feet of the Lord. The offenseless chanting of the holy name does not depend on the initiation process. Although initiation may depend on Purascharya or Purascharana, the actual chanting of the holy name does not depend on Purascharya Vidhi or the regulative principles. If one chants the holy name even once without committing an offense, he attains all success. During the chanting of the holy name, the tongue must work. Simply by chanting the holy name, one is immediately delivered. The tongue is Sevonmukha Jihva. It is controlled by service. One whose tongue is engaged in tasting material things and also talking about them cannot use the tongue for absolute realization. अतः श्री कृष्ण नामादि न भवेत् ग्राह्यम् इन्द्रियैः सेवोन्मुखैः जिह्वादौ स्वयमेव स्फुरत्यदा. With the material senses, one cannot understand the transcendental holy name of the Lord or his form, activities, and pastimes. But when one actually engages in devotional service, utilizing the tongue, the Lord is revealed. As it is said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 17, text 134, Ataiva Krishner Nam Deha Vilas Prakritendriya Grahya Nahe Hayasva Prakash. The holy name of Krishna, his body, and his pastimes cannot be understood by the blunt material senses. They are manifested independently.
Can you go up a bit? It is Srimad Bhagavatam opinion that process of deity worship is not actually necessary. Can you go up there and read that also? Yeah,
It is Srimad Bhagavatam's opinion that the process of deity worship is not actually necessary, just as the specific prescriptions of the Pancharatra and other scriptures do not have to be followed. The Bhagavatam enjoins that even without practicing deity worship, one can achieve the complete success of human life by any of the other devotional processes, such as simply offering oneself at the Lord's feet for his protection. Nonetheless, Vaishnavas follow the path of Sri Narada and his successors, endeavor to establish a personal relationship with the Lord by receiving the grace of a bona fide spiritual master through initiation, and in this tradition, the devotees are obliged at the time of initiation to begin engaging in deity worship. Although deity worship is not essential, the material conditioning of most candidates for devotional service requires that they engage in this activity. When we consider their bodily and mental condition, we find that the character of such candidates is impure and their minds are agitated. Therefore, to rectify this material conditioning, the great sage Narada and others have at different times recommended various kinds of regulations for deity worship.
Okay.
Similarly,
This is very important here. We already read. So you can understand that why I was given by Srila Prabhupada, this which I should. He introduced deity worship to get ourselves purified, then the chanting will be powerful. So to deity worship, you need initiation. And go to 6:16:51. 6:16:51.
would anybody else like to read?
All living entities, moving and non-moving, are my expansions and are separate from me. I am the super soul of all living beings who exist because I manifest them. I am the form of the transcendental vibrations like Omkara and Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, and I am the supreme absolute truth. These two forms of mine, namely the transcendental sound and the eternally blissful spiritual form of the deity, are my eternal forms. They are not material.
Ang lahat ng nilalang, gumagalaw man o hindi gumagalaw, ay aking mga expansion at hiwalay sa akin. Ako ay ang super soul ng lahat ng nilalang na nananatili dahil minanifest ko sila. Ako ang forma ng transcendental na ugong katulad ng Omkara at Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, at ako ang pinakamataas na absolute na katotohanan. Ang dalawang forma ko na pinangalanang ang transcendental na tunog at ang panghabang buhay na kaligayahang espiritual na forma ng deity. Ito ang aking panghabang buhay na forma. Sila ay hindi material.
So does this answer the question?
Yes. Yes, very clear.
Clear? Huh?
Yes.
So it is important that one take initiation. You can go 22:115.
On the path of regulative devotional service, one must observe the following items. Number one, one must accept a bona fide spiritual master. Number two, one must accept initiation from him. Number three, one must serve him. Number four, one must receive instruction from the spiritual master and make inquiries in order to learn devotional service. And number five, one must follow in the footsteps of the previous acharyas and follow the directions given by the spiritual master.
Sa landas ng serbisyong devosyonal na regulatibo, ang isa ay kailangang gawin ang mga sumusunod. Kailangan tanggapin niya ang isang bona fide na pinunong espiritual. Pangalawa, kailangan tumanggap siya ng inisasyon mula sa kanya. Pangatlo, kailangan niyang paglingkuran siya. Pang-apat, kailangan siyang tumanggap ng mga utos o instruction mula sa pinunong espiritual at gumawa ng mga katanungan upang matuto siya sa serbisyong devosyonal. Panglima, ang isa ay kailangang sumunod sa mga yapak ng mga naunang acharya at sumunod sa mga utos na ibinigay ng pinunong espiritual.
So you can see how important it is that the first step in devotional service is to have a guru, It says here 5 times, not one time. So does it mean that you can become successful without a guru? And of course, in the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, 434.
Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. Subukang malaman ang katotohanan sa pamamagitan ng pagdulog sa isang pinunong espiritual. Magtanong sa kanya ng may pagsuko at magbigay ng serbisyo sa kanya. Ang isang self-realized na kaluluwa ay makapagbibigay ng karunungan sa iyo sapagkat nakita na niya ang katotohanan.
Can you go to 11:22:10?
Translation. Because a person who has been covered by ignorance since time immemorial is not capable of effecting his own self-realization. There must be some other personality who is in factual knowledge of the absolute truth and can impart this knowledge to him.
Sapagkat ang isang tao na natakpan ng kamangmangan mula pa noong napakatagal na panahon na ay hindi kayang pairalin ang kanyang sariling pagtatanto. Kailangang may isang personalidad na may factual na karunungan sa absolute truth na makapagbibigay ng karunungan sa kanya.
21:2.
The conditioned soul cannot revive his Krishna consciousness by his own effort. But out of causeless mercy, Lord Krishna compiled the Vedic literature and its supplements, the Puranas.
Ang isang kaluluwang nakakondisyon ay hindi kayang buhayin ang sarili niyang kamalayan kay Krishna sa pamamagitan ng sarili niyang pagsisikap. Subalit sa walang dahilang awan ni Panginoong Krishna na siyang nag-compile ng literaturang Vedic at ang mga suplemento nito, ang mga Puranas.
The forgetful conditioned soul is educated by Krishna through the Vedic literatures, the realized spiritual master, and the super soul. Through these, he can understand the supreme personality of Godhead as he is, and he can understand that Lord Krishna is his eternal master and deliverer from the clutches of Maya. In this way, one can acquire real knowledge of his conditioned life and can come to understand how to attain liberation.
So you see how the process works.
Ang makakalimuting kaluluwang nakakondisyon ay tinuturuan ni Krishna sa pamamagitan ng mga Vedikong literatura, sa pamamagitan rin ng nakapagtantong pinunong spiritual at ng super soul. Sa pamamagitan ng mga ito, mauunawaan niya na ang kataas-taasang personalidad ng Diyos na si Krishna at mauunawaan niya na si Panginoong Krishna ay ang kanyang panghabang buhay na pinuno at tagapagligtas mula sa mahigpit na hawak ng Maya. Sa ganitong pamamaraan, matatamo ang tunay na kaalaman dito sa buhay na nakakondisyon at matututunan kung paano natin matatamo ang kalayaan.
Can you go to 122 again? Can read from unfortunately?
Unfortunately, at the present moment, the conditioned souls are guided by demons who do not care to read the Vedic literatures. Although there's an immense treasure house of knowledge, people are engaged in reading useless literature that will give them no information on how to get out of the clutches of Maya. The purpose of the Vedic literatures is explained in the following verses.
Sa kasamaang palad, sa kasalukuyang pagkakataon na ang mga kaluluwang nakakondisyon ay ginagabayan ng mga demonyo na walang pakialam at hindi magbabasa sa mga literaturang Vedic. Bagamat mayroong napakaraming mapagkukuhanan ng kaalaman, ang mga tao ay iniuugnay lamang ang sarili sa pagbabasa ng mga walang kwentang literatura na hindi magbibigay sa kanila ng kahit anong impormasyon kung paano makawala sa mahigpit na pagkakakapit ng Maya. Ang layunin ng mga literaturang Vediko ay maipaliwanag ang mga sumusunod na bersikulo.
So you see how Guru is so important. I think we all became devotees because of Guru. Yes?
Yes.
You can go to 23, 14, 15.
In the beginning, there must be faith. Then one becomes interested in associating with pure devotees. Thereafter, one is initiated by the spiritual master and executes the regulative principles under his orders. Thus, one is freed from all unwanted habits and becomes firmly fixed in devotional service. Thereafter, one develops taste and attachment. This is the way of sadhana bhakti, the execution of devotional service according to the regulative principles. Gradually, emotions intensify, and finally, there is an awakening of love. This is the gradual development of love of Godhead for the devotee interested in Krishna consciousness.
Sa simula, kailangan mayroong pananampalataya. Pagkatapos nito, ang isang tao ay magiging interesado sa pagkakaroon ng asosasyon sa mga dalisay na deboto. Pagkatapos nito, ang isa ay bibigyan ng inisasyon ng pinunong espiritual at ipapatupad ang mga prinsipyong regulatibo sa ilalim ng kanyang utos. Kaya naman, ang isa ay lalaya mula sa mga hindi kaaya-ayang bisyo at magiging tutok sa serbisyong devosyonal. Pagkatapos nito, ang isa ay magkakaroon ng panlasa at pagkakaugnay. Ito ang pamamaraan ng sadhana bhakti, ang pagpapatupad ng serbisyong devosyonal ng naaayon sa prinsipyong regulatibo. Unti-unti, ang emosyon ay magiging matindi at sa kalaunan, magkakaroon ng pagkabuhay ng pag-ibig. Ito ay ang unti-unting pagkabuo ng pagmamahal sa Panginoon mula sa isang debotong interesado sa kamalayan kay Krishna.
See, again here, initiation is also stressed. Can translate?
Kaya naman, ang inisasyon ay binibigyang diin dito sa bersikulong ito.
Always you need a guru.
Kailangan palagi na mayroong guru.
What do you say, Alfred?
Yeah. Opo.
So you cannot try to avoid that. It's not possible. But of course, you must take from a bona fide spiritual master. That is the question.
Yes.
And without any doubt, we all know that Srila Prabhupada is the bona fide spiritual master.
Alam nating lahat na si Srila Prabhupada ay ang bona fide na pinunong spiritual.
And you can get connected to him, although he is not physically present.
At maaari kang magkaroon ng connection sa kanya kahit siya ay hindi physical na naririto.
And this is from his own personal instruction.
At ito ay mula sa kanyang personal na utos.
Prabhupada said that you can come to me even after I have departed. Then who in the world can stop that?
Kung si Srila Prabhupada mismo ang nagsabi na pwede tayo pumunta diretso sa kanya, sino bang pwedeng
Tumigil.
sa atin?
Unless you want to become more than Prabhupada, then I cannot say anything.
Unless gusto natin maging mas mataas kay Srila Prabhupada, wala na ako masasabi.
And this is what they all are trying to become more than Prabhupada.
Yun ang sinusubukan nila maging mas mataas kay Srila Prabhupada.
5, 12, 14, Bhagavatam. If one follows the order of the spiritual master, there's no question of falling down. As soon as the foolish disciple tried to overtake his spiritual master and become ambitious to occupy his post, he immediately falls down.
Kapag ang isa ay sumunod sa utos ng pinunong spiritual, wala na tayong pag-uusapan tungkol sa pagbagsak. Sa oras na ang isang mangmang na disipulo ay sumubok na maging mas mataas sa pinunong spiritual at maging mapangarap na kuhanin ang kanyang pwesto, siya ay kaagad-agad nababagsak.
Yes.
Yes.
If the spiritual master is considered an ordinary man, the disciple surely loses his chance to advance further.
Kapag ang pinunong spiritual ay ikinonsidera ang isang ordinaryong tao, ang disipulong ito ay mawawala ang kanyang tsansa para umunlad sa kalaunan.
Can you go to 3:13:24? 3:24:13. I got the number right, but the sequence got off.
Yes, sir. Sons ought to render service to their father exactly to this extent. One should obey the command of his father or spiritual master with due deference, saying, "Yes, sir."
So whatever the father and the spiritual master order should be taken without argument. Yes. There should be no instant in which the disciple or son say, "This is not correct, I cannot carry it out." When he says that, he is fallen.
May dalawang salita sa bersikulong ito na napakahalaga. Ang unang salita ay ang pitari at ang pangalawang salita ay ang guro. Ang anak o ang disipulo ay kailangang tanggapin ang salita ng kanyang spiritual master at ng kanyang ama ng walang pag-aalinlangan. Kung ano man ang sabihin ng kanyang ama at ng pinunong spiritual, at ang utos ng pinunong spiritual ay kailangang gawin ng walang argumento. Oo. Kailangang walang pagkakataon na ang isang disipulo o ang anak ay magsasabing, ito ay hindi tama. Hindi ko kayang gawin ito. Kapag sinabi niya na siya ay bumagsak, ang ama at ang spiritual master sa parehong plataporma ay nasa parehong plataporma sapagkat ang pinunong spiritual ay ang kanyang pangalawang ama. Ang mas mataas na antas ay tinatawag na Dvija, twice born. Kapag may katanungan tungkol sa pagkakapanganak, kailangan laging mayroong ama. Ang unang pagkakapanganak ay nagiging posible sa pamamagitan ng aktual na ama. At ang pangalawang pagkakapanganak ay nagiging posible sa pamamagitan ng pinunong spiritual. Minsan, ang ama at ang pinunong spiritual ay maaaring isang tao lang. At minsan, sila ay maaaring magkaibang tao. Sa kahit anong pagkakataon, ang utos ng ama o ang utos ng pinunong spiritual ay kailangang ipatupad ng walang pag-aalinlangan. At nang mayroong madali ang pagtanggap. Kailangang walang argumento. Ito ang totoong serbisyo sa ama at sa pinunong spiritual. Sinabi ni Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura na ang utos ng pinunong spiritual ay ang buhay at kaluluwa ng mga disipulo. Ang isang tao ay hindi maaaring ihiwalay ang kanyang buhay mula sa kanyang katawan. Ang isang disipulo ay hindi maaaring ihiwalay ang utos ng pinunong spiritual mula sa kanyang buhay. Kapag ang disipulo ay sinundan ang utos ng pinunong spiritual sa gantong pamamaraan, siya ay siguradong magiging perpekto. Ito ay pinapatunay sa mga Upanishad. Ang mensahe ng utos ng Vediko ay agad na malalaman lamang ng isang tao na mayroong hayagang pananampalataya sa kataas-taasang personalidad ng Diyos at sa kanyang pinunong spiritual. Ang isa ay material na kinukonsidera bilang isang taong walang pinag-aralan, subalit kapag ang kanyang pananampalataya sa pinunong spiritual at sa kataas-taasang ng Diyos, ang pagkahayag ng ng banal na kasulatan sa kanya ay kaagad na matatanto.
Very important instruction, yes. So this is the problem with our society. They have neglected the order of the spiritual master.
Ito ang nagiging problema sa ating lipunan at sa ISKCON dahil hindi nila pinahalagahan at sinunod ang utos ng pinunong spiritual na si Srila Prabhupada.
Don't you think so?
Yes, Prabhu. Neglected, pinabayaan.